Do we have 1 minute for solutions or advice? That's one thing Tara and I are trying to do with our podcast is give people some hope, some ideas, some solutions. Do you have some take home points before you have to go?
Yeah, we are actually in a very unique turning point. The Democrats have successfully managed to force some negotiation because of the budget. They managed to have a situation where the DHS budget is going to be having a final passage. And in 2 weeks, they have some ability to have some resolutions. Now, I personally look at the list that Representative Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer have, and I say it's a fine list, but the most important thing that's missing is how to hold the agency accountable. There is
Okay.
nothing in there that makes sure that the agency itself will actually do what it's required. You can give them a list of rules, but as we already know, there are already a list of rules. You don't need a list of rules to say that you're not supposed to shoot somebody. You don't need a list of rules to say that you're not supposed to detain
Yeah.
someone.
So what does accountability look like? Where does that happen? How does that happen?
And that means closing that loop, requiring legislation that will then allow people to be held accountable in civil rights litigation, requiring some form of accountability for what is going on. If agents on the ground feel as if they are immune or feel as if they are not going to be held accountable, then they will act with impunity. And if we want to be able to slow things down, if we want to be able to protect our civil rights and civil liberties, then we need to make sure that they respect them because they can be held accountable. If it's not going to happen with the federal government, it can happen with the state. We have a legislative session coming up, and there are, in fact, several bills that will try to do that, to try to hold that
That have to be
accountable.
bipartisan in our divided government in Minnesota.
Absolutely.
But I think the message should be to anyone, don't you want people who may violate your civil rights to be held accountable? Doesn't matter what
Mhm.
party. This shouldn't be a party situation.
It should not.
Yeah, and
It should
so
not.
I think that is the important thing, and that is something that is worth fighting for. It sounds cheesy, but I think it is important to really stay engaged with our community. One of the powerful things that has come out of this, and it's one of those things where I'm glad that people have found this strength and broken up that we have been forced to do it. But the idea that these are our communities, these are our neighbors, and these are the people that when we look around, their lives affect our lives. And that is something that is hopefully a lesson that can carry us forward.